Welcome to our discussion on wartime diaries that capture the untold stories from the front lines, where a forgotten trunk in an attic becomes a portal to the past.
I'm excited to jump in here. What really stands out to you about these diaries?
Well, it's like this. The discovery of the weathered, leather-bound diaries tucked away under moth-eaten blankets immediately transports you to a world of personal memories amid chaos. Each diary a voice from a time of unimaginable turmoil.
Yeah, I can almost feel the dust and sunlight through that little window. It's almost as if the past is calling to us, right?
Exactly. These diaries, you see, aren't organized like typical history books. They're raw, personal accounts. You've got soldiers, nurses, even children, and a prisoner of war, all writing to preserve their fragmented experiences. Like Anna Müller from Warsaw, just a 16-year-old, who felt so old when the war first broke in. And then there's Corporal James Whittaker, witnessing the retreat at Dunkirk.
Right, and there's something so compelling in how these individuals, often caught in moments of terror and hope, are given a voice decades later.
Yeah, it's like the diaries capture that eerie blend of fragility, fear, and unexpected strength, you know? They're a mosaic of human resilience.
Absolutely, and the narratives bring out so many different angles, from the frontline battles to personal tragedies and even acts of quiet defiance, like those in the hidden cellars of Paris.
Right. Claire Dubois' account as a nurse weaves both hope and despair so vividly. She was treating wounded resistance fighters by candlelight, whispering promises of freedom, even when her own heart was filled with uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's a poignant reminder of the courage found in darkness.
And then there are entries like the one from Sergeant Ivan Petrov. His words about comrades burning alive and the Red Army crumbling, it really shocks you with its brutal honesty.
Yes, his narrative is jarring. It shows that even the mightiest are not immune to the ravages of war. And when you switch to the diaries of, say, Private David Rosenfeld and his reflections in North Africa or later in Germany, you see not just the physical but the emotional landscape, the endless desert of loss and the silence after battles.
It's as if every diary is its own universe, yet they all converge into this shared experience of humanity at its rawest.
Right? And then there's the perspective of the children. Samuel Klein's diary from the Iodi ghetto, for example, speaks of simple moments like trying to catch a snowflake, while his tender memories rapidly get replaced by harsh reminders of hunger and danger.
I mean, that's haunting, isn't it? It really forces us to confront how even the smallest lives were marred by the immense weight of this conflict.
Absolutely. It's like each entry is a small masterpiece, a snapshot of human life marked by both pain and a longing for simpler times. And then we have the accounts from the resistance, like Marco Bellini in Italy, whose explosive tales of sabotage and subsequent reprisals underline the brutal cost of fighting for freedom.
Totally, and it brings out this tension between acts of valor and the collateral damage that so often goes unspoken.
Exactly. And then, shifting gears to the Pacific Front, Aiko Tanaka's diary stands in stark contrast. Here, amidst preparations for an invasion, there's a palpable sense of lost youth, a teenager who should be painting or reading poetry, yet is forced into a world of trenches and bamboo spears.
That really highlights cultural differences too. While European diaries often focus on grand military movements, here you get an intimate glimpse into everyday youth disrupted by conflict.
Exactly. It's like every diary is a thread in a tapestry that, when woven together, shows the complete picture of war. Not just the battles, but the personal human narratives that make up its true history.
I hear you. And speaking of threads, isn't it interesting how the narrative closes with those reflective, almost meditative accounts, like Anna Müller's mother searching for her daughter in post-war Warsaw?
Right. That final reflection is both heartbreaking and enduring. It's the silence after the guns have fallen, this anguish of loss that no celebration can fully erase. It underscores how the war lived on in the hearts of survivors long after the battles ended.
And then there's also the diary of Dr. Kenji Sato from Hiroshima. His description of the day the sun fell to earth, a flash that obliterated everything, is so visceral, almost beyond words.
Yes, his account is a stark portrayal of not just physical devastation, but also of the limits of human capacity to document the indescribable horror. It's like the diary itself is a protest against forgetting.
And yet one has to wonder, by preserving these memories, are we, in a way, perpetuating a sort of collective trauma? I mean, do you think chronicling such raw pain can sometimes romanticize the struggle?
That's a fair point. I would say these writings aren't meant to romanticize war, but rather to honor the reality of it. Sure, in their poetic nature, they might appear poignant and stirring, but that's because they capture the truth, not a sanitized version of heroism.
I get that. It's a delicate balance. Too much emphasis on the beauty of persistence might overshadow the horror of what was lived.
Right? And these diaries manage that well. They preserve the nuance, the fear, the hope, the despair, and even moments of irony, like a soldier's internal conflict over orders and morality, as seen in Karl Hoffmann's account on the Eastern Front.
Yeah, I found that particularly striking. His admission, "I shot a boy today," echoes like a confession, a burden that that all the combatants had to carry, regardless of which side they were on.
Exactly. And it destroys any simplistic labels of hero and villain. Instead, it paints war as a situation where humanity gets twisted and even the most ordinary person can be driven to extremes.
And I guess this is what makes these diaries such invaluable historical documents. They reflect not only the events, but also the inner turmoil and the moral ambiguities of war.
Right. It's like each diary is a piece of a puzzle that, when assembled, tells a broader story of survival and the unyielding human spirit.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that war's casualties aren't just numbers. They're lives recorded in ink and memory.
Absolutely. And the variety of voices, from a young girl in Warsaw to an American GI in North Africa, and even the quiet despair of post-war reflections, gives us a multidimensional look at history.
Exactly. It broadens our perspective far beyond what traditional accounts offer. The structure, moving chronologically from the early cracks of war to its final silences, creates this narrative arc that's both heartbreaking and cathartic.
It's a journey through time that touches every corner of the human experience. Fear, hope, outrage, and ultimately an enduring call to remember.
Yep. And it really emphasizes the idea that these personal documents aren't just relics. They're messages urging us to never forget the truth of what happened and to honor all those voices, no matter how faint they might seem today.
And that's the real power of these diaries. They ensure that history is remembered not as cold data, but as a collection of living human experiences.
Right. And it leaves us with that final stirring note from the unsung, unsigned diary page. If someone reads this, know that we lived, we loved, we were afraid, but we did not give up.
Those simple words manage to capture the deepest essence of the human spirit during one of history's darkest times.
Exactly. It's a plea, a demand even, that we not only remember the battles, but also the faces, the voices, and the emotions behind them. And that's what makes this collection so extraordinary.
I completely agree. It serves as both a memorial and a lesson. Even as we uncover tales of valor and despair, we're reminded of the cost of conflict through these intimate snapshots of life.
Precisely. And while history often focuses on armies and battles, these diaries bring us back to the heart of the matter, the real people and their personal struggles amidst chaos.
And that perspective is what forces us to truly grapple with the consequences of war beyond the headlines and statistics.
Exactly. And as we listen to these voices from the past, They urge us to remember that every human life matters, regardless of the side they were on.
And that's a lesson as relevant today as it was then. A call for empathy and understanding, even in the face of overwhelming conflict.
Right? It's a reminder that our memories of the past can guide us toward a more compassionate future.
Well put. These diaries aren't just historical documents. They are living, breathing testimonies of survival and the enduring resilience of the human spirit.
Absolutely. They compel us to honor every whispered prayer, every tear shed, and every brave act, no matter how small. And through them, we learn what it truly means to be human.
I couldn't agree more. It's a journey through time that, while painful, ultimately reminds us to cherish peace and the fragile beauty of life.
Right. So, as we reflect on these untold stories and the lives behind them, let's carry forward the lessons of empathy, resilience, and remembrance.
Exactly. And may these voices continue to echo in our hearts, guiding us to build a future where such tragedies are never repeated.
Thank you for joining this heartfelt discussion. Let these memories not just be a recounting of history, but a call to honor life in all its fragile brilliance.
Indeed. Until next time, keep remembering, keep learning, and keep cherishing those untold stories from the front lines.